Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United have held initial talks with Ernesto Valverde over taking over as the interim manager. Valverde's last managerial role was Barcelona. When he was at Barcelona, he won back-to-back La Liga titles. He also won the Copa del Rey. He was sacked by Barcelona in January 2020. Valverde also endured 2 spells at Olympiacos. He won the Greek title on 3 occasions. Before, he also managed Atletico Bilbao. I think he also won a trophy with them. So would you take him at Manchester United? Obviously Man United are looking to appoint an interim manager until the end of the season. Now I want to give you some news on Mauricio Pochettinho. So PSG reject Manchester United's move to appoint Mauricio Pochettinho. Yesterday, Pochettinho came out and said that he's so happy at PSG. And he said that he doesn't feel distracted with the links to the Man United job. The Manchester Evening News said yesterday that Manchester United are confident of appointing Mauricio Pochettinho as the next permanent manager. And earlier on this week it said Mauricio Pochettinho is interested in the Manchester United job. And it said, that Pochettinho is ready to quit PSG to become Manchester United manager now. Manchester United have already agreed to pay the 10 million compensation for Mauricio Pochettinho. Pochettinho has a full season left on his PSG contract. I do think Pochettinho is a good manager, despite him not really winning anything. I think he has won a trophy at PSG. Obviously, he didn't win out in his 5.5 years at Tottenham, but he still did well at Tottenham. In 2018, he guided Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. And he almost won the Premier League with Tottenham. Analysing the vast majority of his tenure at Tottenham though, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top 4. I think Tottenham did make a mistake sacking Pochettinho, because since they sacked him, Tottenham have gone downhill. I thought Pochettinho did well at Southampton. He wasn't at Southampton for that long, so he did enjoy a short tenure, but he did guide Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. And before, he's managed Espanyol. Manchester United should have got Mauricio Pochettinho after the sacking of Jose Mourinho, but the club decided to go with Solskjaer instead. PSG have obviously made contact with Zinedine Zidane. And I said if Zidane goes to PSG, we'll get Pochettinho. Well, Zidane was linked with a managerial role at Man United, but not so long ago Zidane said he's not interested in taking over at Manchester United as he doesn't feel ready for the Premier League at the moment. Erik ten Hag, he's still being spoken a lot about. I think he is our second choice. Pochettino's the first choice and obviously Ten Hag's the second choice. I presume there's a lot of United fans that would like to see him come in. I think Ten Hag's done a very good job at Ajax. He's won a few trophies with them. He develops young players well. And he's been at Ajax for around 4 years. Brendan Rodgers, he's been spoken about a lot as well. Man United have obviously made contact with Brendan Rodgers, but not so long ago, Brendan Rodgers dismissed the links to Man United. He said, "I'm proud to be at Leicester." But the other week, Brendan Rodgers was house hunting in Cheshire, and that stirred some suggestions up. And at that point, it said Rodgers was the favourite to replace Solskjaer. So Manchester United are looking for their 5th permanent manager since Ferguson. Because we've obviously sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson. We sacked David Moyes, sacked Louis van Gaal, sacked Jose Mourinho, and of course sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. At the moment, Carrick is the interim manager. Carrick won his first game as the interim manager. Because yesterday night, Manchester United beat Villarreal 2-0. Reflecting on the win against Villarreal, Manchester United are through to the last 16 of the Champions League. As you all know, last Sunday morning, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was officially sacked by Manchester United following the 4-1 defeat to Watford. Manchester United certainly made the right decision sacking Solskjaer, because he couldn't have took the team any further. I don't think the club really wanted to sack him, but obviously they was left with no choice in the end. Solskjaer did give a farewell interview. He got emotional in his farewell interview. Obviously, Solskjaer is now going to take a break from management. Manchester United paid Solskjaer around $7.5 million because last summer he signed a 3-year contract with an option of a further year, and Manchester United should have never give him that contract, because I knew for a while he was never the long-term manager for Man United. But despite Solskjaer getting sacked last Sunday morning, he's a legend at the club, and he'll always be a legend. And all Manchester United fans will always adore him, because Solskjaer was a very good player for Man United. He endured 11 years as a player. He flourished under Ferguson's guidance. He had a proven pedigree as a player, because he won a lot of trophies as a player, but unfortunately, doesn't have a proven pedigree as a manager. Ollie was Manchester United manager for almost 3 years, and I'm surprised he lasted as long as he did. But the reason he lasted as long as that is because he is a legend of the club. This season was Solskjaer's 3rd full season at Man United, and I did say at the start of this season that this season was always going to be massive for Solskjaer. And obviously the pressure was on him at the start of this season, reflecting on the summer transfer window Manchester United had this year. Because we did enjoy a good summer transfer window this year. We made 4 signings. 3 of the 4 signings were major signings. And we spent around £141 million. You know, when Ollie was United manager, he did enjoy like 5 transfer windows. The board backed Solskjaer as well. You know, the Glazers backed him, Ed Woodward backed him, John Murtaugh, our director of football, backed him, and Darren Fletcher backed him. So reflecting on that, you know, Solskjaer ran out of excuses, didn't he? But Ollie was never capable of winning trophies as United manager, and obviously he didn't win a trophy as United manager. Manchester United have not won a trophy since 2017, and the expectations were too high for Solskjaer to exceed as United manager, and Ollie was just in a position that he shouldn't have really been in. But Ollie knew, you know, when he'd taken over at Manchester United in December 2018, that it was going to be a massive job, not only a massive job, a difficult job as well, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin, because Ollie was managing one of the biggest clubs in the world. You know, Ollie did get appointed in as caretaker manager in December 2018. He did very well as the caretaker manager, so reflecting on that, the club decided to give him the job on a permanent basis back in March 2019. But like I said, you know, reflecting on the poor performances under Ollie was partly to blame because his tactics and his team selections were questioned a lot. But it wasn't all Solskjaer's fault, you know, there was also players that had to take responsibility for those poor performances. You know, there was positives to take from Solskjaer's managerial tenure at Man United. You know, I think in certain aspects when he was manager, he did bring consistency back. I think he did develop the youth well. I think he also made good signings when he was United manager. You know, Solskjaer did sign 14 players. You know, in the summer of 2019, he recommended Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January 2020, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odi Nagalo in on loan. And then in the summer of 2020, he brought Edison Cavani in, Donny van der Beek, Alex Telles, Amad Diallo and Facundo Pellistri. And in this year's summer transfer window, he brought Heaton in, Sancho, Varane and re-signed Ronaldo after 12 years. So there were the signings he made. Ollie, when he was United manager, also got rid of a lot of players as well. You know, he loaned players out, he got rid of players permanently. You know, the players he did loan out as when he was United manager in this year's summer transfer window, he loaned Brandon Williams out, Andres Pereira, Axel Tuanzebe, Ethan Laird, Tahith Chon and Facundo Pellistri. And the players he got rid of permanently, obviously he offloaded Daniel James. He also offloaded Borthwick Jackson and James Wilson. He got rid of Igalo, Fosu-Mensah and Rojo. He released Sergio Romero and Joe Pereira. He also offloaded players like Young, Valencia, Smalling, Darmian. Fellaini left back in January 2019. He offloaded Angel Gomez, did Ole, when he was manager. He also offloaded Herrera, Lukaku and Sanchez. In his first full season, he got us to 3 semi-finals, and he also got us a 3rd place finish. In his second full season when he was United manager, He got us to the EFL Cup semi-final, the FA Cup quarter-final and the Europa League final. That was his first major final as Man United manager, but unfortunately he didn't win it. And last season, Ollie got us a second place finish. Don't forget as well, when Ollie was United manager, Man United went 29 games unbeaten away from home in the Premier League, so that was another positive. Under Ollie, we was far superior away from home than we was at home, funnily enough. So they are the positives you can take. Manchester United are going to offload players next year. I think there's a very good chance that Martial's leaving the club next year. You know, Martial doesn't really get in the team, does he? Well, there again, Martial played yesterday against Villarreal. He was playing on the left wing. Martial come back from injury not so long ago. Martial has only enjoyed one good season at the club. That was his debut season under Louis van Gaal. Martial's been at Manchester United for 6.5 years. Martial has got 3 years left on his contract. We got him in a deal worth 58 million from Monaco back in 2015. Cavani, I think there's a good chance he'll be leaving next year. Edison Cavani, is out with injury until December. Well, he was out with injury earlier on this season. Cavani has got under a year left on his Man United contract. It was back in May he signed that 1-year contract extension. Man United got Cavani on a free transfer. This season is Cavani's second full season at Man United. Cavani's got a good pedigree behind him though. Look at the silverware he won when he was at PSG. Not only that, he was also a long-serving player when he was at PSG. Mata, I think he's also going next year. Mata's contract at Man United expires next summer. Because earlier on this year, Juan Mata signed a 1-year contract extension. I can't understand why the club extended his contract for a further year, because Mata doesn't really get in the team. And plus he's lost that yard of pace and he's ageing up. But despite that, I think Juan Mata's had a good career at Man United. He's made over 200 appearances for Man United in all competitions, and he's scored over 50 goals. And he's been a long-serving player at the club, Mata. He's been with us for 7.5 years. We got him from Chelsea back in 2014 for 40 million. We brought him in under the David Moyes era. Jesse Lingard, I think he's leaving next year, because not so long ago it said Lingard's future at Man United is in doubt after talks over a new contract collapsed. His current contract at Man United expires next summer. Well, not so long ago it said Lingard could leave Man United for just 10 million. It's better to cash in for him in January though, rather than let him go on a free. Lingard doesn't really get in the team, does he? He's only made one start this season. That was West Ham in the Carabao Cup. West Ham actually want to re-sign Lingard. At the second half of last season, Lingard endured a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. And I'm hearing as well that Lingard's interested in going abroad. Lingard has been part of Manchester United for a long time. He reason up our academy and that. He's had his good periods at Man United. He's also had his bad periods as well. Donny van de Beek, I think he'll leave unless, you know, he gets his opportunities when we do get a new manager. Van der Beek didn't get enough opportunities under Solskjaer, did he? And obviously he was frustrated with that. Van der Beek, though, played yesterday against Villarreal. Obviously, he started ahead of Fernandes in that number 10, and he put a very good performance out, did Van der Beek. You know, he got in some good positions, he kept the ball well, and I thought he had some nice touches. Van der Beek also played well when he came on in the 4-1 defeat to Watford. You know, he scored. That was his second goal for the club. He also tried to make things happen and he got into good positions. So that just proves how good Donny van der Beek is. So like I said, I'm hopeful under a new manager he will get his opportunities. If he does get his opportunities, then he might stay. But just before Ollie got sacked, was it, you know, Van der Beek confirmed that he wants to leave in January. You know, Van der Beek's been at Manchester United, is it for 19 months now? You know, this season is his second full season at the club. You know, we got him for 40 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year. And Van der Beek's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Matic, I think he's also leaving the club next year. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he still seems to get his opportunities. Obviously, surprisingly enough, under Ole, you know, he was ahead of Van der Beek in that midfield. I've always had my strong reservations about Matic because he's always been a static midfielder and he's aging up and that, but despite that, he has had his good games at United. I think Matic is the only predominant holding midfielder we've got at the moment. He's been at the club for 4.5 years now. We got Matic from Chelsea back in 2017 for 40 million. Paul Pogba, you know, he could be leaving the club next year because earlier on this season it said Manchester United are prepared to sell Paul Pogba in the January transfer window. Well, it makes sense to cash in for him in January rather than let him go on a free next summer. Pogba may never play for the club again. Pogba is missing the rest of 2021 because he's got a thigh injury. He suffered the thigh injury in France training earlier on in the season. But I want Pogba to stay at Man United because I think he's a good player. Not only a good player, he's an imperative player as well. And Pogba did enjoy a good start to the Premier League season. You know, so far in the league this season, he's got 7 assists and he produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season as well, to his credit. But at one point last season, he was out with a thigh injury for a while. Diego Dalot, I think he'll be leaving next year because he doesn't really get in the team, does he? You know, Dalot will only play when Bissaka's not available. Dalot's our backup right back, but in some of the games Dalot has been involved in, I think he has done well, to his credit. You know, last season Dalot was out on loan with AC Milan, so reflecting on that, he gained some experience. We paid around 19 million for Dalot from Porto around 3 years ago now, and he's got a contract with Man United till 2023. Bailly, I think he's leaving the club next year, which I am disappointed about because I think Bailly is a very good centre-half. You know, Bailly doesn't get regular game time though, does he? You know, he's only played, 3 games this season. He lost his place in the team a while ago, obviously with the signing of Varane in the summer transfer window, and obviously Lindelof's preferred ahead of Bailly. That may not be the case though when a new manager comes in. Bailly's a far superior centre-half to Lindelof. My only element of concern about Bailly is injury prone. So in that aspect, he's a liability. Towards the end of last season, he signed a new contract with Man United until 2024. There's an option of a further year. But he's been at United for 5.5 years. We got him from Villarreal back in 2016 for 30 million. Jones, he's another one that's leaving next year. I think, Jones doesn't get in the team, does he? And at one point, Jones was out with a knee injury for a while. Did you know Jones is the only outfield player that's still with us from the Ferguson era? This season is his 11th season, so he has been a very long-serving player. And Tellez, I think he could go next year. Obviously, we saw Tellez playing ahead of Luke Shaw yesterday against Villarreal, and he put a very good performance out. Yes, in some of the games he has been involved in Tellez, he's been very consistent. He is a good left back, he just doesn't get enough opportunities. Like I said, he only plays when Shaw's not available. Earlier on this season, Tellez had an injury. We brought him in though to provide competition for Shaw. We got him for 15.4 million from Porto last year. And Dean Henderson, looks like he's going out on loan next year. Well, he's already said he wants to go out on loan because he doesn't get in goal now because De Gea reclaimed that number 1 spot back. So there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.